Alright guys, so welcome to SensePro.com. I just want to go over real quick about what exactly Sense is and how it's designed to help. So first off, Sense is a productivity tool designed to automate the majority of the cost of living sector, which is where so many people struggle to maintain balance and stability. For example, if you have a goal, there's some things that are required to accomplish that goal that needs to be organized. And now that you have goals, we have daily schedule that needs to be optimized around these goals. In addition to that, we have costs from our bills. More often than not, a job or a career that we need to work around. We need some exercise, which probably may have something to do with our goals, but we got to take care of our health in the process. And then because we have all of these things, we now need some sort of monetary management system, which is a bank. We'd like for people to find a sense of happiness and joy in their life. So in addition to these things, people have a lifestyle that needs to be catered to. And what that means to me is that we need to figure out a way to spend more time in this section than every other section, because ultimately what we want to do is live our life in the way we want to live it. With the problems that we're facing today in our economy, by centralizing these things into one place and then automating the process, the budgeting process, the scheduling process, the step-by-step goals via the SMART goals process, we can manage this in sort of a trickle down effect. We can remain stable as long as we carry a budget, and we can hold each other accountable in a social marketplace where we can leverage each other for our lifestyles and our goals. For example, if I want to be a football player and you're a coach at a training facility, if the coach has the Sense app and the football player needs you, this system will automatically connect you to, because you have an open schedule and he needs your services, and the money's there because we've got a balanced budget and we prepared for this moment. Now, the D1 coach has a income stream and a stable revenue that is coming through via the Sense platform, and the end user is able to leverage the economy in the way that they can move forward so that they too can start accomplishing their goals or stabilizing in the economy. Ultimately, the budgeting process is what's going to provide stability, and by automating this stuff down to nothing more than depositing the check into a checking account and doing a little bit of work on the front end of downloading the app to ensure that this is optimized around you and your lifestyle. We can do this in a very simple way that really allows for people to just streamline and stay focused. If they need to push something off, that's absolutely fine. Those are data points. People aren't necessarily motivated when they're approached in ABC way. We should try XYZ way. So that's that. We also incorporate your health, and we emphasize the proper health and good health as a longevity practice. It's an investment when this is really all said and done. So when other companies look at your profile, they look at more than just your wealth management, but your health, and if you carry a healthy lifestyle. But that's how this works. And at the end of the day, you set a goal. You bring your goal to the Sense app. We ask you about your life, kind of like a financial advisor and a nurse. We take all of these things, we put them together, and we give you a personal assistant that helps you manage it all. It's not rocket science. It's just technology working and doing the things that it's designed to do at its maximum capabilities. And it's really just a matter of automating this process. The reason why this is such a valuable solution is because of some of the problems that we face. As it stands, our government is always needing more taxes. Well, taxes comes from productive people. and in good investments and companies, spreading their money around and building up things around us. And at the end of the year, we see a growth or we see a deficit, right? So everybody's facing this same dilemma as it relates to a business. And then our government's no different. So we need to increase our tax revenue. We got a volatile economy because 80% of the population does such a poor job budgeting. And the people in the elite class are doing a very poor job of allocating funds effectively and appropriately. I think it's got a lot to do with politics, but that's a topic for another conversation for another time. If we were to centralize these people and give people a more automated process, then we should see less volatility in our economy and stable growth that investors won't be afraid to build on top of. We currently suffer from high unemployment. Now, what that means, that's a combination of a few things. Their demand for unskilled labor to provide a quality of life is higher than the desire to have people work in these jobs, or the demand or the supply of jobs. So many people want an easy job that it makes an easy job not pay very much. Well, we need to then reduce the strain on the unskilled labor force by encouraging people to start small marketplaces. You don't need a ton of skill to have a marketplace. You just need to have some interests and really be passionate about those interests and read a book or two on how to communicate and how to sell. And then more often than not, people today are becoming more tech savvy than ever before. If people can just learn a few basic communication tools, they can set themselves a website and have a marketplace selling whatever they know how to sell in no time. That's easier said than done. But again, if we can automate this process, then we've got a stable asset in our community and not a liability due to unemployment. We also face a lot of crime, petty crimes associated with poverty, robbery, selling drugs that are, essentially toxic to the human, that kills them on the spot. And these are things that people are doing to inflate their income because they're struggling to survive. And it just doesn't make any sense when these are the same people that are making the rich rich. The rich can't create a stable environment that produces them even more prosperity. And if you don't do that, you're going to continue to have break-ins and robberies and murder throughout the country. I think that there's some people in the world that believe that this is appropriate because of population. So we need to practice some sort of inhumane genocide. And I think that people are naturally heathenistic enough that we don't need to practice genocide. We need to give people their freedom, and then people will throw their own life away. I'd much rather that be the case than somebody throw another person's life away. So as it relates to crimes and poverty, I believe that a lot of this stuff is associated again with the strain on the economy. And if we can reduce the strain that is on the economy and provide a better quality of life for these people, then we should see a reduction in petty crimes. As it stands, we have a severe income inequality in this world, and it's no secret that this was done intentionally. I'm not the person to discuss whether this should be forgiven or not, but you cannot continue to build a country that's going to compete and grow on a gross domestic product if we're not investing into the people appropriately. If we have a media that's discouraging people, tripping people up, lying to people, misguiding people, whatever you want to call it, then you're building a few genius people on top of a bunch of ineffective liabilities, and thus eventually you're going to have a few genius people with no tools to work with, and you're going to be back in the same problem. So I don't think that the system as it is now, sort of a pure capitalistic, egoistic consumption system, is a way to go. And I think that it's just a matter of taking a few percentage points from these top people spreading this a little bit evenly across the market where everybody can see $1,000 a week pretty consistently. And when we have this $1,000 a week spread out consistently, it takes so much pressure off of the labor sector. It takes pressure off the government. Now they don't have to pull over people, which we know who they like to favor when they pull over. My driving record's insane. And I love driving. I'm a great driver. This is one of the problems that we have in our country. You know, that's sort of the overall big picture of it. And then all of these things are some of the challenges that are a result of it. For example, one of the reasons why we have poor inequality or income inequality in the first place is because the education system hasn't really been invested into. It's been getting pennies through the government, doing the sort of the best it can, and then the private sector's getting all the funding and all of the real information. Everybody else is recycling old data. And then instead of these people passing this information on, they're hoarding it for themselves so they can get ahead of the economy. I guess it makes sense when you think about one person surviving for 50 years, 100 years. But when you think about humanity moving forward and your children and your grandchildren, it just doesn't make any sense other than to breed a super competitive economy with sound structural assets that make your products better and that make you have to push yourself harder. When you have a product that is so competitive that others can't compete, you know, now you're stable in this market forever. And it sounds like everybody can't do that, but I assure you people can. You know, I can't tell you how many times throughout the week I have a different demand for a different market. And then people enjoy playing in these different markets in various ways. So just because I demand to be able to watch NBA games doesn't mean everybody else is also going to be able to demand to watch these NBA games. They may just like to wear Lakers clothes. And we can leverage the economy in that regard and really stabilize people. And a lot of this comes with education. I'm a huge advocate for education. We need a real restructuring of our educational system. I think it's outdated. I think it lacks tools or the sort of essentials required to create curious, motivated minds. I think what we have is a sort of abused and worn out, depressed, stressed mind that wants to play. And if we restructure our education system to accommodate for the human, not the human accommodate to the education system, we can see innovation, hyper growth in our economy. Which leads to my next problem is our outdated infrastructure. So as it stands, you know, America was the founder of sort of this new innovation that we have today. And we've built out of this, and now we have an opportunity to go and replace this infrastructure to optimize for an even faster economy. And we're not necessarily looking for speed as much as we're looking for efficiency, which is a combination of accuracy and speed. And I'm not sure that we have that. I think that we either have cost-effective, poor structure that allows everybody to function in a hyper-focused way. We don't have an automated system that allows people to function in an automated way. So that infrastructure, my focus is more on the cost of living sector, and then transacting, whatever that means, in the transportation space, in the digital space. We need to improve these things. That way, commerce can exchange faster. People can move around faster. We just have a sound system as it relates to cost of living that allows for people to truly become assets and stable without worrying about missing a meal or going homeless. And I think because of all of these problems, we have a lack of innovation in our country, particularly in the education system. And then this lack of innovation is driving people to drugs, which is taking over the culture. and now we have a toxic culture. So we've got all of these people lost in the middle of all of these problems, and again, it's all, politics in the air. People are misguiding people, lying, people are eating crazy stuff that they shouldn't be eating, or gaining all sorts of weight, and it's messing up their health. People don't really know what it means to run a business. People don't really know what it means to be healthy. People don't really know what it means to manage, carry, and balance and keep a healthy, balanced budget. People don't really know how to set goals. People aren't really good at keeping and maintaining a schedule. When people shop, people have a tendency to overspend due to a lack of budget. And again, our education system is just completely flawed and broken. So if we can take all of these things and put them in a place, organize your goals, organize your budget, organize your schedule, automate everything. When you go to make a purchase, we decide if this is an investment or if this is just you spending some of your fun money, and we keep your budget balanced in a sophisticated way where you're always moving forward. And the reason why I created this product in the first place is because I like the idea of not having to care about other people. I know that sounds crazy, but if somebody's hungry and you make them dinner and you give them all the right ingredients, a cup of water, and you drag them to the chair, you sit them down, you give them the napkin and the fork and the spoon, and you give them all everything, and then you scoop the food onto the spoon or the fork, and then you put it up to their mouth. It's on them to eat the food. If they don't eat the food, you get to drop that fork and that meat, walk away, and live your best life without ever having to feel bad that you didn't try to help somebody. And I believe that the problems that we're facing in the world is a lack of understanding and a lack of stability in these key areas as it relates to cost of living and prosperity. And by centralizing these things, helping these people, consolidating the resources so that everybody can leverage each other the way they need, we can have a stable environment that people are willing to build and grow on top of. And then ultimately this creates a quality of life for the underclass. It creates a stable environment for people as they transform out of the underclass. And then because this is all built on top of a corporate system, we got a stable corporate structure that's now built on top of a stable middle class. And now this stable corporate structure can be mechanized, automated, so that prosperity, progression, innovation, and technology continue to grow at an astronomical rate. And that's really what we want. And eventually we can have tools and technology that serves as assistance to humans in an even more cost-effective way. Because at the end of the day, I think everybody just wants to party as hard as we can and enjoy life. So why not manifest that and make it a reality for all? I think Sense does this. I think that this technology is already available. I think that it just needs to be automated. I think that we need people that really understand the budgeting process, along with incorporating this through business technology and expanding that with business efforts, so that as people stabilize in their personal finances, we then have an additional product to offer in a business service. And that's something that can be a monthly revenue that helps this person even more, that stabilizes this company in its future. So guys, thank you for tuning in. I don't think that there's anything on the market that exists quite like Sense. I think that it's the future of our economy. I think that this is the best and most effective way for us to be competitive on a global scale if moving our America's economy forward is an objective for us. And it's very simple. We automate the things that we must do. We eliminate the things that we don't. And we enjoy our time in our life. I thank you for visiting the Sense Please donate, like, share, subscribe, tune in, visit the site, check out some of the products that we offer. This is a passion project for me. This is something that I've been working on my entire life. So I hope you enjoy it, and thank you.